Welcome to Heart of a Soldier, where courage meets the human spirit, and every story reveals the unbreakable bonds forged in the fires of service. Today's tale will take you on a journey of healing, mystery, and the magnetic pull of unfinished business. Every night, at 11:47 p.m., Staff Sergeant Michael Hayes performed the same ritual. He would sit at his grandfather's oak desk, remove the brass compass from its worn leather pouch, and place it carefully on the polished wood surface. The compass was broken, had been for over 60 years, but its needle stubbornly pointed northwest, always northwest, no matter how many times Michael turned it or shook it. His grandfather, Colonel William Hayes, had carried this compass through the Pacific Theater in World War II. "Saved my life more times than I can count," the old man used to say, his weathered hands trembling as he held the instrument. But he never explained why he'd kept it after it broke, or why his eyes would grow distant whenever Micah asked about those final days in the Philippines. Michael's apartment in Fort Collins, Colorado, was sparse, the kind of place someone lived in but didn't truly inhabit. 3 years since he'd returned from Afghanistan, and he still couldn't bring himself to hang pictures or buy a proper couch. The nightmares came less frequently now, but the compass ritual remained. It was the only thing that helped him sleep. The VA therapist, Dr. Sarah Chen, had been patient with Michael's progress. "PTSD isn't a straight line to recovery," she'd told him countless times. "But you're stuck, Michael. 3 years, and you're still performing the same ritual. What do you think your grandfather would say about that?" Michael had laughed bitterly. "He'd probably tell me to follow the damn compass and stop being a coward." Dr. Chen leaned forward. "So why don't you?" That question haunted Michael for weeks. He'd stare at the compass each night, watching its unwavering needlepoint toward the mountains, toward something unknown. His grandfather had died when Michael was 16, taking his war stories with him. All that remained were fragments, mentions of a village called San Rafael, a mission that went wrong, and the compass that stopped working on the worst day of the war. On a crisp October morning, Michael finally made his decision. He called in sick to his job at the hardware store, packed a small bag, and for the first time in 60 years, someone was going to follow William Hayes' broken compass. The compass led him northwest, through Colorado, into Wyoming, then Montana. Michael drove his grandfather's restored 1967 Mustang, another inheritance he'd never fully appreciated until now. With each mile, he felt something shifting inside him, as if invisible chains were slowly loosening. He stopped for gas in a small Montana town called Cedar Ridge, population 847. The elderly attendant, a man with kind eyes and calloused hands, noticed the compass on Michael's dashboard. "Now that's a fine piece of history," the old man said. "My daddy carried one just like it in the Pacific. Said it saved his life more times than he could count." Michael's heart stopped. "Your father, ... Was he in the Philippines?" "Bataan Peninsula, mostly. Done some classified mission near the end. Never talked much about it, except ... The man paused, studying Michael's face. "You look familiar, son. What's your name?" "Hayes. Michael Hayes. My grandfather was Colonel William Hayes." The attendant's face went pale. "Jesus Christ, you're Billy's grandson." He extended a shaking hand. "I'm Tom Reeves. My daddy was Sergeant Frank Reeves. He served under your grandfather." Tom Reeves invited Michael to his home, where yellowed photographs and faded documents told a story Michael had never heard. His grandfather hadn't just been a colonel. He'd been the leader of a secret rescue mission to save American POWs from a Japanese camp near San Rafael. "Your grandfather saved 17 men that day," Tom explained, showing Michael a group photograph. "But he lost his compass when a mortar shell hit too close. My daddy always said Colonel Hayes gave him his own compass and told him to find a way home for all of us." Michael stared at the photograph. His grandfather looked impossibly young, standing with a group of soldiers who all bore the hollow-eyed look of men who'd seen too much. In the corner of the photo, someone had written, "The 17th San Rafael Mission, March 15, 1945. Tom continued, "The compass broke during the mission, but your grandfather kept it anyway. Said it would always point toward the most important thing: home, family, the people worth saving." That night, In a small motel room in Cedar Ridge, Michael sat with the compass and finally understood. It hadn't been broken at all. It had been pointing toward this moment, this revelation, this understanding that sometimes the most important journeys don't follow magnetic north, they follow the heart. He called Dr. Chen from the motel phone. "I think I understand now," he said. The compass wasn't pointing away from home. It was pointing toward the family I never knew I had. Over the next 3 days, Michael met with the families of 4 of the 17 men his grandfather had saved. Each family had stories to tell, photographs to share, and gratitude that had been passed down through 3 generations. The compass had led him not to a place, but to a community, to the understanding that his grandfather's legacy lived on in dozens of children and grandchildren who existed because of one man's courage. Michael returned to Fort Collins with the compass still pointing northwest, but now he understood its message. Some directions in life can't be found on any map. They're written in the heart, in the bonds between people, in the courage to face difficult truths. He hung his grandfather's war medals on the wall, finally understanding that they belonged not just to William Hayes, but to all the families whose stories were intertwined with his own. The nightmares didn't disappear overnight, but they became manageable, softened by the knowledge that some battles are worth fighting, and some legacies are worth preserving. 6 months later, Michael organized the first annual San Rafael reunion in Cedar Ridge, Montana. Families came from across the country to honor the 17 men who'd been saved and the grandfather Michael had never truly known. The broken compass sat in a place of honor at the center of the table, its needle still pointing northwest, toward family, toward healing, toward home, at heart of a soldier. We believe that sometimes the most important directions can't be found on any compass. They're written in the courage of those who came before us and the bonds that connect us across generations. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember, every veteran carries stories that deserve to be told, and every story has the power to heal.